Hey guys, it is 10:23 p.m. on Wednesday. Still drinking coffee. And I'm going to talk to you about some of my earliest memories about music. Um, so I was listening to both Maddie's and Samantha's, and some things that they talked about were the influence of their parents, guys. And so I guess I want to start by kind of talking about how connected I feel music is to my story and to who I am. Um, it actually starts with my name. So talking about like parental influences of music, my mother had we came from I guess a large family. I haven't met a lot of them, but her older brother was actually named Michael. Long story short, he passed away before I was born, like 2 years before I was born, in fairly early adulthood. For him because of like a misdiagnosis of cancer or something. I don't know. But the point being, my mother was really close to him, and he played the guitar. They're from Texas. He played the guitar, and he loved John Denver, who's a country artist. Um, and because of that, where my name literally starts from, and kind of the beginning of my story, even before I was born, is really tied to my mother's memories of music. And so that's something that I feel is really special to me. And that really kind of helps explain a lot of the exposure to music I had early on. So, one of the lullabies I had growing up, lullabies that I guess my mother would sing to me, was John Denver's I'll Be. There we go, totally spaced. I'll Be's a love song. It's I'll be your crying shoulder, I'll be love suicide. Um, and the meaning was kind of twisted to be more like an oath that my mother was making to me when I was like 3 years old and lying in bed trying to go to sleep. Also, on that note, I had very different exposures to music from my mother as I did my father. Um, from my mother, I listened to a lot of John Denver, a lot of Daughtry was also really, really important. So Daughtry's home, especially because American Idol was something that we watched as a family pretty much weekly when I was in elementary school. And so Daughtry kind of going through AI too was something that I got to witness fairly early on. And I wasn't huge into it as a kid, but my parents loved it. Um, and then in the car, my mother always had like the old soft rock radio station on, so things like Train, um, Drops of Jupiter is very much kind of that style of music tied to my early memories of just driving around running errands. Then on the other side of things, my father, his personal taste, he loved Grateful Dead. I remember being dropped off and driven to school, like in the back seat, little elementary school me, in a seatbelt right next to, I guess, Beanie Babies, like the stuffed bears made like a Grateful Dead series where each bear was like designed after a song. Yeah, they were also in a seatbelt in the back seat next to me. So you can see where the priorities there lied. But basically, I would be driving to school next to Grateful Dead. But a really interesting thing is that my father really also loved Christian music. That was a really large part of my upbringing. And so I actually didn't go to a non Christian live concert until I paid for my own ticket in high school and went with a friend. I went to a lot of Third Day concerts, which is a Christian rock band, um, growing up and with my father. But the first secular music I like got into that I liked was in like seventh and eighth grade. I really liked Imagine Dragons when they came out with Radioactive. And I also at the time really liked Skrillex, although I can't stand it now. It sounds horrible. Um, but that was something I got into. And then the first concert I actually went to that was just like with friends, and that also was the first and only, still to this date, non Christian concert I've been to, was Bastille and Judah and the Lion. But Bastille, I went to an indie back my senior year of high school. Um, so yeah. Oh, and then kind of jumping back, another exposure to kind of rock music, similar to the exposure I had with my mother, is that my babysitters, when I was a kid, we always basically play like freeze dance to the Beatles. So I had a Beatles CD that we played like on an old fashioned CD player. And so that's also a memory that I had of me going crazy dancing to We All Live in a Yellow Submarine. Yeah, so I'm interested to see what the rest of you guys say. Catch you later.